Hi there, Jay from I Wonder UK. 24 hours after I've just completed the Southwest Coastal Path. Lots of people have been asking me what's in my pack, what I've been carrying, what I use, so I thought I'd do a quick video of what I got in there. This will just be literally genuine unpacking my bag. Like I say, it's Sunday, it's about 12 o'clock. I've laid in bed for a little bit, so I'm just going to unpack my bag, go through it quickly. Future videos I might show you a little bit more, like the Lanshan and the rucksack and stuff like that. So no further ado, let's get into it. Every day you probably see me wear this, which is a Cragopper shirt I picked up at a charity shop. I think it was £2 or £3. Amazing bit of kit. A pair of these, I think they're Carrymore. Yeah, Carrymore Elite trousers. I just spray them with waterproof and stuff after they've been washed. Been ideal in all sorts of weather. And these socks, I love these socks. I'm not sure if I should be able to touch these at the moment, but they're Trek 1000 or 1000 mile Trek socks, because I don't like thick socks that make your feet get far too hot. A wind cheater that I got from AliExpress for £8 that arrived literally the day before I left, and that is a godsend. You can literally feel the warmth when you put that on, stops the wind coming through, and it'll take a light shower. Not delusional, loads of rain, but it'll take a light shower to the thing. Boots, as you may be able to tell, they're a little bit worse for wear. There's nothing on the bottom here. They've gone all soft in the middle, but they lasted me. Cracked, literally just polished them every day. They cost me £30 from eBay. A pair of Magnum Elites, just can't buy them anymore. If you could, I'd have another pair any day of the week. Right, rucksack. This is a godsend. Osprey Ag65. I'm sorry, do I need to readjust this? No, let's not bother. Anti-gravity system withstands the AG. Is amazing. I lost a lot of weight, and I must admit I made a mistake that I'll come back to another time with a waistband. But after a couple of days I used to just leave this cover on all the time. One, you don't have to do anything if it rains. You don't have to stop and put the rain cover on. Two, it helps keep everything tidy so you don't look quite so much like a hobo. So cover off. Where should we start? Let's start this side. Sit pad. I think we've all seen one of these before, like a Z-mat. Because I'm relatively short, I'm only 165 centimetres, I cut the end two panels off my mat and use that for a kneel/sitting pad. And we all know the world of difference that makes. Let's kick it on Steve. Like I say, no particular order. Spongy kitchen thing for wiping off the tent in the morning. And foil, again, I got from AliExpress. I think it cost me about £6 for, I made 2 of these, so that makes the world of difference to the temperature inside the tent. Wouldn't be without that in the spring. 2 of these bowls, I think they were £1.50 actually from Poundland. They weren't just a squid, they were £1.50, so I blew the budget on there. I had 2 of those all the time. It's surprising how quickly you drink through the water supply every day, and every morning if you have a cup of tea in the morning and a bowl of porridge, that's 500 ml of water. I always had this on the front of the bag, you've probably seen it, which is just a snug pack poncho bag, which my poncho came in but I never used it in, and I'll show you the reason why in a minute. I don't get this out. Got this cup I picked up in a charity shop for £1. It's insulated with a screw top with a sippy cup, so you can make a cup of tea, start packing up your tent, 20 minutes later it's still hot. But also if you knock it over, you only get like a tiny little wheat coming out of it. You don't knock and lose all your tea or coffee in the morning. This that I got in Poole wear on the second day, and just out of loyalty I kept it for the whole journey. Probably a little bit skanky, but I had a vitamin tablet and that every day. That was my first drink of the day basically as I walked along. That's that, the cover. I'll try and go through stuff quickly, come back afterwards. There's stuff in here I do and don't need. There's my, that's a Alpkit Quark. Head torch, rechargeable, absolutely brilliant. I don't know how long it will actually last, but I think I did 20 days with it one time without recharging it with no problem, and it's got the little red LED, which is fantastic at night. Just chuck it there. There's some stuff, oh, couldn't have been without this Moverlap for my back, and especially my tendons. Every morning, to be honest, we've got to put that on. And what else have we got in there? I've got some of these. Pick these up really cheaply off eBay. I think you can get them in Poundland now as well. When it turned really cold, you crack one of these open out of the plastic bag. Looks like a big tea bag. Give it a shake. Leave it for a few minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, and you start feeling the heat. You get one of those in your hand. Keep the heat in for hours, and it does hours. I'm talking like 8-10 hours. What's left of my vitamin tablets. What else have we got in here? Dipper-based cream. I've got psoriasis, so I use that for emergencies on the bits that got really sore. Plastic bags, some more hand warmers. I'll be honest with you, this is one of those mini camping towels. I took it, I didn't use it. I wouldn't be without it, because I did go in the sea once and I plan to go on a couple more times, but it didn't weigh that much, and after a while it was in the rucksack. I was carrying it, so forgot about it, didn't worry about it anymore. And what else have we got? Some loose first aid bits that have got like stretch crate bandage, and a little backup torch. I always go on the philosophy like bushcraft, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So I've got my head torch, but look, I've got one of these little pump rechargeable things. It works really well. I can't even remember where I got it from, to be honest with you, but I had it years. But it doesn't hold a charge, you don't need batteries for it, you've always got a nice backup, and everything else is just more of those on the top there. I don't think there's anything else. No, don't think so. In the top here is like a admin / luxury for me. I wanted to record stuff like the weather, how I felt, what the walk was like, so I had a notebook with a pen. And you see I just use Ziploc bags. These ones are from Morrison's, but all the supermarkets do them. And I've had that in there for 54 days, it's been fine. Another one with the plugs, etc. in there. Plugs and electrical leads to do my phone, my watch, and my luxury item, the old, this is about 8 or 9 years old, Samsung tablet. So the long nights, to be honest with you, when you do start, you're going to be in your tent for like 12 to 14 hours. I started March the 1st and I was literally in the tent half five at night, and I had the alarm set at 6:30 next morning. Work it out yourself. Didn't use it every night, but it's there when it gets, if you can't sleep and a bit lonely. And I had a snug notepad. It's like all weatherline type stuff. You can write on it. It doesn't run. So that's that. And these are just Ziploc bags, because 1, I don't like to rubbish, and 2, I recycle them, if I'm honest with you. I'm sorry, this is taking on the foot. Let's zip it round the other way. At the beginning of the walk, I use this a lot. Again, would you believe? I picked this up in a charity shop. I think I paid about £3 for it. It's Harry's, but it's merino wool and polyester mix. And it's, I walked in this on my training walks 60 days, and I'd wear that Craig Harper shirt I just had on and this over the top for the warmth first thing in the morning. Again, it's not waterproof, but if it gets the shower, it doesn't come straight into your body. It's what sticks on the outside, but warm. But I used that for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and I always had it with me in case it did turn cold. That's what I've got now. Snug pack poncho. It works. I'm not great with waterproof, so I run really hot. So my idea was having a poncho over the top to keep me and my stuff relatively dry. But I'm going to sweat on the inside, to be honest with whatever I've got. So I went with the poncho on the field. You can get the air on the inside, and I wore it several times. No waterproof's great in my opinion, but it works as long as it's not too flappy with wind. But I had a little modification with mine, made me look like a hobo, but I had a piece of shock cord I used to use around a belt to hold it down. You know, when you get the wind and it comes up over your head, to stop that. I went 2 of these for £1 from Poundland. weigh nothing, no bristles, that's all plastic, but just to try and get the mud off your boots at the end of the day or off your trousers makes a world of difference. You can clean all the mud off, let the boots dry out overnight in the vestibule, and they're ready in the morning for polishing and stuff. What else have I got in it? Oh, forgot I had that. Bacon jerky, could have done with that. Pair of sunglasses. I think got some remains of a bit of chocolate in there. And I only used these once or twice, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd use them again, but when I started in March it was cold, and I've got another pair of gloves, but these are wetsuit gloves. And my thinking was, if you can use them in the sea, then when you're absolutely soaking wet, they still keep the wind off of you. And it does work, but like I said, 2 pairs. These ones work when they're wet. My other pairs don't work when it's wet. I think, no, got some honey roast peanuts in there as well. You know, when you get hungry and you've forgotten stuff, you think, why is there more plastic bags that I haven't recycled? Ziploc bags that I haven't recycled. Right, let's get into the thick of it. I was saying before, this Osprey bag, they was bloody expensive. Well, I bought this off Gumtree, off Frank Si, in Scotland, which was, I think he did search and rescue, and this was his backup bag that he'd never used. These bags are about 220 quid, I think. He let me have it for 75. Thank you, sir. Believe the hype. These bags are amazing. I've got a bad back and I carry this every day. I've just weighed this, by the way. It's just over, it's about 16.5 kg, but I've got no food or water in it. When you add 2 litres of water, that's up to 18.5. It's about 20 kg. Just over 20 kg that I have every day. Right, let's get into this. For me, I had a couple of other things when I started. I had a frying pan and a pot, and to be honest with you, I just didn't use them. I think I used them twice, and I thought I could live without them, because a lot of the time, because of the weather, you're inside the tent. I'll boil water, please be careful, inside the tent, but using a frying pan trying to cook up sausage sandwiches, again, it's budget stuff. This is how can we put, no, I can't put it delicately. This is the pee bottle, so you haven't got to get out of the tent at night. It's one of those things with the little shaky stuff you put on your washing and makes them smell nice, but the lid closes down really firmly. It closes, and the openings nice and wide on the top. For yeah, let's not go into that. That's a porridge pot. The little porridge comes in. I took other porridges in Ziploc bags and just used this again. So I used this on the first day and then used Ziploc bags with porridge into that, on the theory that if you can pour hot water into this for the porridge, then it'll work otherwise. Plastic beaker that was for stuff like pot noodles or hot chocolate, because I didn't want to get, I don't like hot chocolate in my teacup. I know, fussy get. One of these little things, which I've got 5 of in Poundland, and like I say, I've been using this for 54 days, but it's got like a lid inside for powdered milk, and just worked brilliantly, because you just chuck it about, and you got 5 of these from Poundland, and I'm afraid to say it wasn't 12, and it's not titanium, it's just stainless steel, but it still weighs nothing. 5 for £1, Poundland. That's the only tool I went down with in the end. What have I got in here? Oh, it's in there. Hopefully I've still got the filter in there. Yeah, sorry I squeezed. This was literally a lifesaver. I took this with me because I would worry about not getting water. People are ever so friendly. Cafes, houses will always give you water, but sometimes you're in the middle of nowhere. You've got no water. To have this, it's just that little bit at the back of your head. I used it about 6 to 10 times over the 54 days, but just the reassurance of knowing you've got it is well worth having it. What's I've got in there? Yeah, got it. Why have I done this? I literally got these the day before, packet of fig rolls. I've got enough for a meal there, haven't I? Fig rolls, chocolate and some bacon jerky. Right, this is my little Missy bag. Miss for miscellaneous. There's a couple of things in there I'll show you. 2 bread bags. Nick that idea from Hayes Outdoors. Cheers mate, works a treat when your feet are wet. Put your nice dry socks on, put these on and put your boots back on if you need to go outside. Works a treat. And other little bits is a little rag, boot polish. It's a miscellaneous bag. It's got bits of string in there, a bit of toothpaste I think there's on the bottom there, bits of string, some ibuprofen, and it's just a miscellaneous bag. But I've got it see-through. It was Elle's, my girlfriend's, that I stole off her, I think, but on the theory that I could see through it, because it's nice to know what's in it. I always have, and I'll be honest with you, the first 10 days I used, this is my first aid box, and it's personal to me, and I think everybody should be. Don't go and buy a first aid kit. Think about what you use. Like, for example, I'm allergic to plasters. I have got some plasters there on the theory that I'd rather have scratchy feet, but at least they're all right. But I use the Vaseline and Sudocrem in there, but I've got other stuff in there like ibuprofen, bite and sting relief, stuff like that. But thankfully, I didn't need to use it. No, nothing crazy happened to me, but I would always carry one. It's just my decathlon. This, again, I've got a down jacket. I can't remember where I got the down jacket from, but a couple of weeks before I went, this is just a stuff sack. A couple of weeks before I went, I saw these advertised on Decathlon. I think it was 35 quid. But this is rated as synthetic, but rated down to 0. And seriously, I've been in 0 with just a shirt and a hat on underneath. Chuck my wind cheater over the top. And I've been playing about on the beach till 9, half 9, 10 o'clock at night with it. So that's, I love this jacket. This jacket is amazing. And it's also back up with another item I've got in there that I'll show you in a minute, for if it got really, really cold at night. Jacket. My pot that Elle bought me from her birthday, which is a Vango with a little clip lid, which works brilliantly. Pop the lid off. I've got a coffee sachet in there. I used to keep 2 of these in there just to stop rattling around. This I got from AliExpress. I've got a taller one that fits on the top of the gas bottle, but this one's got the fold out legs, which works a right treat because it's lower in the vegetable. So when it's sitting lower on the ground, screw that onto your gas bottle, all of that fits in one place. And then gas bottles and a couple of homemade wind cheater shields, just made out of beer cans basically. But that's brilliant little setup. I love that. And I don't need to boil water super quick, but it does because of the heat exchanger on the bottom. The rest of this is slightly random because it's just chucked in all on the last day. Another pair of those Trek Master socks, or Trek 1,000 mile Trek socks, I think. Short, they're only just a buzz around, but they work for me. A pair of shorts that I used a lot because I was really lucky with the weather. These are just Carrymore ones, I think. They're Carrymore ones. Again, the whole thing is done on a budget. Short shorts for going in the sea or knocking about. I did have a spare shirt because I stayed in B&B's a couple of times because I had to charge my batteries up. And I had a little fresh shirt because I couldn't stand being next to me with that long sleeve crap on. A pajama bag, which is basically, let's just whip it out quick. I'll show these all another time. Insulated hat, what they call Finsulate? Yeah, Finsulate hat. This is just for wearing at night in the tent, not for any other reason. And merino wool, top and bottom, I got from Decathlon. I think they were about maybe 20 quid for the pair of them, but they work absolutely brilliantly. Wouldn't do without them. Literally wore them every single night in bed. Makes the world of difference in the sleeping bag. And a pair of thick socks. I've got 3 pairs of these. Last year, a car boot for £1. And tell you what, these socks are bloody amazing. I don't even know what brand they are, but pretty amazing. I'm trying to rush now, aren't I? I'm going to make it first. Food bag, what's left. Basically, I've got like porridge mixture that I made up. I'll be honest, pot noodles, a little bit of trail mix, but it gets heavy when you start mixing. At one time when I had this for about 4 or 5 days, it weighed 3 kg, and I said I can't be carrying that, so I had to reduce it down a bit. Faithful. Again, I got lucky on this on Gumtree. This is a Mountain Hardware Hyperlamina, I want to say, Spark, and it's rated down to 0. I had several nights with zero, and I've been out and about when this has been like -3 is the worst I had it down with, and it's brilliant. I've had it open and I've had it with the hood up, so you literally like that periscope. The only problem with that is the condensation. You get out your face for that. What's that talking? Oh, it's my watch talking. Idiot. I don't know why it does that. I saw a review of this online, and I think it was Novice Wild Camper who'd also got the tip off some Canadian bloke, who I can't name at the moment. I'll try and find out because it is only fair. This is a Uni-Gear camping air sleep pad. It's heavy, it weighs about 1 kilo, but this thing is magical. It's 27 quid. Not 200, 27 quid. Yeah, I know you can buy halfweight weight, 400 grams even, but I can't afford that. So that's what I used, and it's taken every bit of use. The only thing I would change on this is the valve. And I don't get on with the pumping bag system. I just blow it up by mouth. Put in there now. Last few things in the bottom there. I've got a pair of these, I didn't realise they were called that, Sundick insulated trousers, and these are down. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I wore on this trip. No, I didn't wear them once, but then these are scrunched down to nothing, and they're my emergency if it gets really cold at night. If you go into, sometimes your body goes, not shocked, but like really cold at night. That and the insulated jacket inside the sleeping bag, I knew I'd be all right. And I think that is about it. Oh no, I've got this. I picked this up. I did security about 8 years ago at Leeds Festival, and someone left this behind. It's a silk liner for your sleeping bag. Work a treat. It feels soft. You don't make your bag into a stink sack so much. It lasts much longer, and it adds a couple of degrees onto your heating system. Sleeping bag. And I think that is probably about it. Oh no, one other thing. I use this. It's like a lightweight bivvy bag. It's 3F UL Gear, the same make as Landsham. I don't think it was expensive. I saw it online. I thought I'd give it a try, and it weighs literally nothing. But I slept in an open air shelter one night and just chucked that over the top of my sleeping bag in case the moisture came in the night. Works a treat. Absolute treat. I think, yeah, that's about it. Oh, spare pair of thick socks. The beginning of the trip, it was a lot colder. My feet were colder, so I did wear thicker socks during the day. But the last 4 weeks I didn't. And in the outside of the bag, we've got 2 of these. This is my electrical stuff. I stitched together, as you can see, a well-known brand. What do you call it? Wetsuit, thick one. And inside is these things. You can get them all over the place. These are a well-known brand. For some reason, I've got 2 of these. For some reason, I've got one called Ura W, and the other one's called a IMA W. I don't know what that's about, but they're 20,000 milliamp hours. I tested these before I left, and these would charge my phone and my watch 7-8 days running. No, out in the field, you'd be lucky with 4 days. I literally, 4 days would be pushing it, and it's because of the cold at night, even though I've got those wrapped up in plastic bags all the time, and those wetsuit bags. I'd say 2 of those, just one of those on the other side, I think. Let's just double check. Yeah, exactly the same thing on the other side. And that is it for the rucksack. Wetsuit bag. Oh yeah, side pockets is just niff-naff stuff. And around my waist is what I had for this. For me, I wanted to have something that I can get to all the time, and it's weird. I think there's some silly little things in. That's the top for my cup. So I'd finish my cup of tea. The cup would go in the little poncho bag on my shoulder with the water bottle in, and then this goes in that little red sack. And the other thing I've got in there is, which I've put in a plastic bag for the rain because I haven't used them for a couple of weeks now, is, I'm not going to be able to get these out, am I? There we go. Gloves. Gloves, hat and a buff. Just your standard buff gloves. I've got these Trekmate gloves. They're all right, nice and thin. Keep the wind off. If it gets really cold, they're not super great. Sorry, I was talking right over the top of the thing. And another charity shop bargain, another Insulated hat. Bum bag that I can't even remember where I got, but failed me. Oh yeah, Mountain Warehouse. Failed me after 10 days. And so I had to do some homemade stitching and put some safety pins in. I can't remember, I think I've got some wet wipes and stuff on the outside. On the zip up bit, I've got where I kept my cash, other important things like my bank card and stuff like that. But then on the inside, what else did I have on the inside? Oh, for me, which people don't realise, is if you're going to have one of these books, and I wanted to take the book with me, I'd consider not having it, but I took this instead of maps. I've got OS maps on my phone. But to have this, and yes, I probably should have had maps as well, but for the length of the walk, it would have meant a lot of maps, and I wasn't prepared to do that. A pair of, I think these were Aldi, about £2 or £3. I used these before when I go out like down in the woods and stuff, but they've just stayed in my little bag. And then, like medicine, I have a tramadol and stuff in the back, a few other bits. Oh, nice. Godsend. You know what they're like, Snickers. Nuts and chocolate, you say? Nuts and chocolate. Little MP3 player, which I didn't use that often. I only used that a couple of times to get me through the day. And I think I did have initially some first aid equipment in there, but I've got rid of that. But that's just everything to hand. So when you're in a shop and you need to get a bit of cash out, instead of trying to get your rucksack off, I don't like having stuff in my pockets, especially when you're carrying it. And the last little thing that was with me all the time, every single day, and was my old mate Zed. He's supposed to come along, be a cameraman. To be honest with you, I just freaking carried him for 54 days, but there he is, looking a little bit worse for wear. Hope this is helpful. Hopefully it's asked some questions. I'm sorry if I rushed it. I'm sorry if the camera works a bit all over the place and I'm like this and like that, down and crest. But what I do, if anybody's interested, is go through it and actually explain a bit more. Like, I learned something on the way home yesterday. I couldn't adjust my waistband because I lost about nearly 10 kilos on this trip. And I couldn't adjust the waistband anymore on my Osprey. Or at least I think I couldn't, for 3 weeks. So it started pulling on my shoulders. Literally at the train station, a woman came up to me and said, what do you think about the bag? And I said, it's brilliant, except for the waistband, blah, blah. Just so happened she used to work in the repair shop at Osprey and told me you can adjust these things, but I'll show you that another time. Oh, nearly forgot. Most important part, or one of the most important parts. Lanshan 1, 2021 version. I don't know how much abuse this thing has had. It's been on rocks in woods, literally put it up over brambles and gorse laid on it. What I do with mine, they're wrapped up and I hang my, that's the, we don't call them ground sheets now, what do we call them? Footprints, that's the footprint. I thought that was going to be a bit of a waste of time, but don't, because you can set the tent up based on your footprint and then chuck the tent on afterwards. And a bag of pegs that I'm not going to open up and show you, or I might show you one. Should I show you one? I swapped them out. The pegs that come with were ish. I got these, they weren't expensive, I think £6-7 for 10 of them. And I'm glad I did. They're a little bit longer, a little bit thicker. And in Cornwall, there's a lot of granite. So when you're trying to shove, bring your pent pole in an old boffy or a rundown house, they tend to bend or break. And as a backup, and I'll be honest with you, 5 or 6 days, I thought the tent was going to blow away with me in it. I've got a set of these Delta pegs, which I got online, that I've got wrapped up with, what do you call it, paracord, and a little metal guy rope thing. Can you see that? Yeah, the little gimp. On the theory that I could hook it up to the top of the lanshan and pull them down and hold the lanshan down. And this is going to be, this is like, it's a military Gore-Tex jacket. I didn't wear it once. Do I regret carrying it? No, I didn't. Because the thing with this jacket is, if it got soaked, I could put it over the top. And this would stop any more rain doing it and also keep my body temperature in. And it don't weigh that much, but I would rather have that as backup and survival. And that, as they say, is it. It was supposed to be a short video. I'm sorry it's gone on for far too long, but hopefully got some benefit of it. Got any questions, chuck them down below. I'd love to answer them for you. This is Jay. I'm out of here.